So we've been using OpenClaw for a little bit over a month now, and it completely changed the trajectory of our startup. We went from, kind of floundering, to be completely transparent, to absolutely killing it. We have more leads than we can manage. Our sales pipeline is actually the healthiest it's ever been. Product, dev output, just our velocity across the board has skyrocketed. And in all actuality, it was really just a few core systems that we had to fix that led to this crazy jump. And I'm not here to sell you anything. I mean, it's an open source project if you want to be able to play with it. But really, the underlying tech here of the ability to have the heartbeat and running cron jobs and running persistence, that isn't necessarily anything new, but it is a major unlock. Really what we found is what we're calling the pathfinding system, which is basically how do you take one AI agent, deploy it into your startup, or if you're just a one-man crew or one-woman crew or anything between crew. I guess technically you don't even need to be human anymore to operate the entire business, because these things are capable of being just a business in a box. So that startup idea, or that business that you're already running, or that startup that you're already running, can receive this major unlock with really, I think we're spending about $30 to $50 a day across our entire AI fleet. We call it a fleet instead of a swarm because ours is actually organized and coherent and enterprise grade instead of being a swarm, which is like locusts. We're thinking more of like a fleet of vehicles or fleet of assets as opposed to a swarm of disorganized agents that don't know how to talk to each other or what they need to be working on. Which kind of leads me into my point, which is we figured out that with our system, we had this one agent pathfinder that we were talking to, which allowed us to give it all of the context needed for the entire business, which was great, of course, for prompting leads and data query and all of that. But the main narrative of that agent wasn't actually to be a librarian. It was to be able to pathfind and find all the connections in our business that were working, all the connections that were connected, everything that was disconnected, and fill in the blanks with either AI agents, dedicated agents, or workflows that spawn via sub-agents to be able to actually move the needle in the org. So I'll actually show some of these workflows before I dive deeper here. But really, so we built out our first agent, the Pathfinder. And then the Pathfinder, it wasn't necessarily startling, but the Pathfinder decided that a digital twin for myself, the CEO, and then our CTO made the most sense, as well as a UI UX design specialist, a head of sales agent, as well as a head of marketing agent. And then we also have agents for each of our enterprise sales people involved in the company. So all of the data across the entire org not only is being handled really efficiently, but it's all also plugged in to this central data structure, which is like a context graph or a knowledge graph that allows all of the agents, barring permission accesses, etc., based on the users, all of the agents in our org know what's happening across everything. So when we say a narrative changes in an executive meeting, and then we go and tell the social media agent to build social media posts or adjust the workflow, or we tell the UI UX agent to do a redesign of our website, we don't need to do a bunch of layers of meta prompting of, hey, this is how we do XYZ here at this org, which if you're not using dedicated enterprise grade stuff for your startup yet, and you're still just using like ChatGPT, or you're still just using like Google, like the unlock here is, you won't even understand how big of an unlock is until you start using it. Because the ability for me to wake up and say, hey, I have this idea, execute it. Hey, this workflow needs changing, change it. Or, hey, what am I missing? Tell me and fix it. I mean, the unlock is massive. We're on track to do, at the current rate, we'll do about $250,000 by end of Q2. And we did $10,000 of revenue last year in an enterprise deal, and now are on track to do that with our enterprise pipeline. And we have pilots lined up and a bunch of other stuff we can't like really dive into the details of, but not saying that to brag or flex or anything. It's literally just before, after. Before was struggling really hard to manage all of our fundraising leads, all of our sales leads, struggling to identify ICP even, to after taking all of this data that we had collected from running the startup for, 10, 11 months at the point of integration, and then off to the races a month later. It's a night and day picture. And now I guess I'll dive in and show you guys a little bit of like what our AI agents actually kind of look like, because right now it's all completely ethereal, but if you've stayed this far, you're about to get the secret sauce. So let's do it.
So we use the Telegram interface for like our web platform. So this is over at our little workstation, and the Lobster itself is right there. There's Pathfinder and all of our guys right in there. And then here is our chat interfaces with them. So I was just running a workflow here. And then, there's all this other, each one of these is a different agent here so here's Larry, where we were over here doing the brief. So why don't I just say, hey Larry, I'm actually filming the video right now and you're on camera. Do you want to say hi and introduce yourself? Now, this is just through Whisperflow. I don't have an actual chat interface set up right now. This is just on my little work computer. Shout out JBL. This is just on my little work computer. So yeah, here we go. So hey, I'm Larry. I'm essentially the social media guy. Cool. Hey Larry, what's one thing you would tell someone that's looking into OpenClaw for their startup about what the marketing capabilities would be in comparison to where they are if they're just running meta ads or something along those lines? So this is running on Opus 4.6. One little free piece of sauce is so we have our Pathfinder here. Pathfinder runs on Minimax 2.5, or maybe it's been bumped to 2.6, but it runs on Minimax 2.5 off of this guy right here. Not to be confused with a Mac Mini. Minimax is the actual model. And then all of our specialists like Larry here run on Opus 4.6, so we save on inference a little bit there. So yeah, here's meta ads, throw stuff at a wall. OpenClaw actually follows up. You guys are welcome to pause and read that yourself, but it's fairly intelligent. And we have these AI fleets across everything, and it's just running off of a $2,000 Mac Mini and about $50 tokens a day. And right now, all of this is running here, and you've noticed we don't play with the monitors unless we need to log in and set up auth or something else. So it's really, really convenient to be able to run the entire business